Well, I know you don't vape, but vaping is still popular among a big chunk of the population, and really a surprising number of children are vaping. That's why when we see stories like this about vaping is now linked to an increase in cardiac issues, well, I want to take note and talk to a doctor about it. Dr. Fahmi Farah is back on the James Show. Welcome. Did you see this study about e-cigarette users 19% more likely to develop heart failure, and do you think it's true?
Yes. It was actually published at a very credible journal, American College of Cardiology. And yes, I do believe it's true. And you're right, the number is alarming, especially teens and young adults who are using the number of e-cigarettes. There's a direct correlation now with a 19% increase of heart failure. So it is very concerning to me.
So how do we know this is because of the ingredients in the vape and not because of other poor lifestyle decisions that these kids make?
There's certainly other factors that could be playing a role, but they, for the most part, tried to look into other confounding factors and minimize those, especially in the nearly 200,000 population that they've looked at. We know that there are some harmful ingredients in there. The exact effect, to what degree, we still have to do more studies on that. But judging by what the studies have found, it is suggesting that there is a detrimental impact on the heart. It basically stiffens the heart muscle, and the heart cannot relax very well. So it's a particular type of heart failure that it's causing. So
what causes the heart to stiffen? Is that from the nicotine that is in the vape, or is that something else I don't know about?
It could be definitely nicotine, but it could also be some of the other ingredients that we're not fully aware of. So I do think that there needs to be more studies looking into the exact ingredients and what impact it has for better clarity. But at least this is an eye-opening caution, because we knew that this can be good for us. We just didn't know exactly in which way it was impacting the heart. And now we have some idea.
Is it still better than smoking? For people who vape because they're addicted to nicotine and it's a better alternative than smoking, are they correct?
Most likely, because, when it's smoking, you have the detrimental impact of the tobacco itself, which, of course, is a carcinogen that can cause cancer, among many other things. That part is not there. But at the same time, I want to be very cautious in saying that, because I don't want to by any means promote vaping. It's not good for us. And the rate at which, young adults are using it, and adolescents even, it's very alarming and concerning.
Right, and I'm kind of halfway between those two positions here, because everyone agrees smoking is bad, but if you are going to be addicted to nicotine, I've always felt that it's good. At least you're taking out all the free radicals and ash that comes from burning a plant, and you just have like glycerol, a little bit of nicotine, some flavoring, and water. Convince me that you should take the extra step and stop vaping too.
It's the harmful effect, I think from the angle you're coming from, like what's worse, smoking or vaping, obviously smoking is worse. A lot of times what people do is they go into vaping as a bridge to stopping smoking completely. So as long as people are taking it with that step, I think that's still a better thing, taking that step in that plans to quit smoking and vaping altogether. But ultimately speaking, I think it does have, damaging impact on our heart. Anytime we're introducing something foreign to our body, it can have effects, bad effects. And this study actually shows what that impact is. Heart failure is not a silly diagnosis. It's a pretty serious diagnosis. So I do think that we need to be cautious using vaping.
Dr. Farah, I am surprised that we've had vaping now for over a decade, and we're not seeing other chemicals or drugs or treatments that are injected through vaping. How come we're not using this to get couldn't you put ibuprofen or aspirin or Aleve or something in a vape and get good chemicals in that way? That'd be a good delivery system. How come it's not used for that?
Good question. I guess the technology will have to be more sophisticated. You're right. Certainly we don't have that option at the moment. At the moment, whatever chemical they're using for vaping is showing harmful effects, not beneficial effects.
Yeah, I just thought they would be using it as a delivery system. You know how like in Star Trek when they can just put the thing up to your neck and go tss, and it injects whatever without, you sticking a needle and mixing with your bloodstream and all that other weird stuff. I figure vaping would be a nice, non-invasive way to administer some of the things y'all need to do.
I know. We need to get on that,
like an antibiotic. Instead of a pill, I could just vape some amoxicillin, and then vaping might not be frowned upon so much by Dr. Farah.
Yes, I can't wait for that day when I get to promote this.
Right. For the people who do get prescribed either marijuana, cannabis, CBD, whatever you want to call it, is that an okay delivery system for that drug?
I won't be able to comment on that just because, we haven't had any studies to suggest that it could be beneficial or even a delivery method for that. So at this point, unfortunately, we just simply don't have enough data or studies to know whether that's a possibility.
All right, Dr. Fahmi Farah on the show again, a cardiologist based here in Texas. Thanks for being on the James Show.
Thank you for having me.